Yeah.
My favorite tattoo that I've ever done is related to my favorite moment. It was in Mallorca, Spain, and I bonded with this famous tattoo artist, Sean Vasquez. He was real famous in the 80s and 90s in New York and did giant Japanese pieces. Then he felt this calling to his indigenous roots of Peru that he wanted to become the rising jaguar and learn how to do tattoos. And my dad had just died of cancer, and I was in a grieving state, and I was talking to every different kind of religious person in the world. I talked to Native Americans in Malibu. I talked to Buddhists in Washington. I talked to Christians in the Dominican, all about how to heal, and it was like translating into how I tattoo. That I was a young tattooer at this convention, and I'm hanging out with Sean, and I'm telling him my heart over breakfast, like I want to be a healer, I want to do healing tattoos, and not in the weird fake magical way, like I have some magical power. I want to be able to do art for people that makes them feel okay with what's happening. Maybe it gets you to accept it more. Not like I have any magic juju, but sharing the moment with someone and you both put your intentions to be like, fuck this cancer, or I want to reach my goal, or I want to become the person I see myself as. So I'm saying this all to Sean at breakfast in Mallorca, Spain. He's like, I want you to give me a healing tattoo. I don't tell anybody this, but I had cancer. I had to get all these different cancer treatments. I don't want it to come back. It's in remission right now, but will you give me a hand-poked traditional Druish tattoo on my thigh as a amulet to protect me apoptopically against cancer? And it was such an honor. It was so cool. He let me tattoo his thigh, and I did like you draw and you feel intimidated, but you kind of go to like the things you've always drawn, the things you always see, are the things that are healing for you. And I drew him a small little mandala, and I hand poked it. That's where you tattoo without a machine. You find a small branch, and you attach the needle to that, and you try to ask your ancestors or your great uncle John that's up in heaven to give you power or give you some type of focus. And I tattooed Sean, and it gave me, tattooing him gave me a little bit of the magic juice. Like, yeah, I got to tattoo someone I always look to, someone that's like a badass Yoda in the tattoo world, thinks that I could be Luke Skywalker. And then it meant even more to me a couple years later. Sean died of a massive heart attack, and so I was grateful that I got to maybe heal him at the end of his life, or I got to be part of I got to decorate his temple, or maybe in the end of his life he felt more whole or more at peace because we did this ceremony. Because with tattoos, anytime you stop and have a ceremony, you stop living life on like the fast escalator, and you like stop and you're like, we're remembering this moment shared. And I've got to grieve with Sean's wife, Letitia, and I've got to give her strength and love on her by telling her how much that moment of Sean giving me the gift and then asking me to tattoo him meant. And it's something I always take with me, that I got to tattoo one of my heroes and got to help be part of his journey. And, you know, in my life, I've had so many friends fighting cancer, and just to like, cancer seems like this big giant juggernaut that like gobbles your family, but the like King David in you, or like the Native American in you, is like, no, fuck you, and you throw a rock right back at you, motherfucker. And so in Sean's life, I'm glad that even though it's a little cheesy tattoo, that I got to like throw a rock at his darkness at the end of his life. And, you know, it makes you feel like you're in the right place at the right time, and that you, and all your weirdness and your art, your dorkiness, your art, speaks the loudest for you.